David Burrows of Barometer Capital Management has brought us three top picks tonight. David's the president, of course, over at Barometer. How about Alerian MLP? This is a limited partnership. It's an exchange-traded fund, trades on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA exchange, and you've held this, you bought this most recently in December 1616.
So we spent a lot of time talking about midstream energy assets. We like a lot of them. This MLP ETF, it's not an MLP itself, it's an ETF that invests in master limited partnerships, specifically in this energy infrastructure space. It's got a basket of pipelines and petroleum processing companies.
Some Canadian ones in there?
They are almost all U.S. companies.
Okay.
But this is a play on the growth and production of oil and gas in the U.S. It pays a 6% yield. Because it's in an ETF, you don't run into the tax reporting difficulties that you do with master limited partnerships. So that's all taken care of. But in one basket, you can buy this industry. And we really think that this industry has a long-term secular growth rate. It's got a dividend yield that will grow over time. And it's a sort of a one-stop decision without taking a lot of business risk.
And the way you play that sector up here is through individual companies?
We own individual companies up here like Pembina and Provident and Keyera. There's a plethora of these companies.
Right. Interesting. All right. So we'll move along now to another top pick here of David's. It's Kraft Foods, KFT. You bought this most recently in late November at $34.35. This is right in your wheelhouse, so to speak, this kind of company. Yeah,
we're looking for companies in an area of the market that is doing well, where there's money getting put to work. In this case, this is a very defensive sector. This food consumer staples space has been doing very well. People like the stability and the cash flow. They like the dividend that comes along with it and the dividend growth rate. Kraft, we think, is really interesting because there's a catalyst. Over the next year, they will split the company into two pieces: the North American grocery business, which is a cash flow generating machine, and it will have a significant dividend attached, and then their global snack food business, which has got high growth and high margins, and gives you some exposure to quicker growing parts of the world.
And would you own both?
And so we will ultimately own both, but
yeah.
when you go through a split like that, ultimately you generally raise some value in the market. So we'll get we'll be in the right space in a company with a catalyst.
I think this stock's near an all-time high. I can't confirm that just now, but it's certainly done well. GlaxoSmithKline, GSK on the New York Stock Exchange. That's the American depository receipt for this big company. You bought this most recently, late November at $43.34.
So we're talking about sectors here in this discussion that have been, over many years, become out of favor and unloved, but are going through some kind of transition. The pharmaceutical companies in general are going through a transition from being innovators to basically making use of their distribution capabilities, buying additional product and pushing them through the system. GlaxoSmithKline has a very strong dividend yield, which will continue to grow. Yes, there are patents that are expiring, but they have more new products coming on than products that have expiring patents. So they will have a growth rate going forward. And the market has spent 10 years pricing in the patent cliff on the pharmaceutical companies, and now this is one of the best performing parts of the market. A surprise to a lot of people, but it's under-owned.
Yeah, and Glaxo's doing well, Pfizer, and which you also own, and others. So Glaxo, Kraft Foods, and Alerian MLP, it's an ETF that invests in master limited partnership oil and gas companies, streaming companies, and so on. Thank you, Cheryl. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. I look forward to coming back.
All right, very good. David Burrows. Tomorrow night is Technical Analysis with Bill Kerrigan, so tune in for that. Until then, we say good night.